Hey everybody, Cinema Sickness here, back once again with my annual question and answer video, where you guys ask me any question you want, anything personal related, anything movie related, whatever you feel like asking me, and I answer them. And just like last year, all the answers for these questions will just be off the top of my head. None of these answers have been prepared. I wasn't up all night thinking about them, wasn't writing them down. No, I will just answer your questions with the first thing that pops into my head, so let's get right down to it. The first question I have is actually a two-part question, and it comes from Death to Smoochie 2002. His first question is, whatever happened to Silent Mike? Says his account is closed on YouTube. That is actually a really good question. I was subscribed to Silent Mike. I really enjoyed his videos, thought they were great. One of the first YouTubers I actually started watching. I was a big fan of him. In fact, he actually became a member of Team Sickness. He was actually one of the first people that I invited to be a member of Team Sickness, and it was great. He was posting videos. I was watching him, other people watching him. Great YouTuber. Then one day, he disappeared. I noticed no videos were being posted. I went to check his YouTube account, wasn't there. Went to his personal website, that was gone too. I have no idea. He didn't let me know anything. He just disappeared. And I guess he just got tired of making videos. That's the only thing I can think of. He just said, I don't have time for this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore, and just hung it up. And I can understand people doing that. These videos do take a lot of time and a lot of effort. I put a lot of effort into these videos. It definitely takes time out of my day to do these, especially one every single day for you guys. But Silent Mike, he didn't do it every single day, but he did a lot more editing and whatnot to his videos, so he probably put just as much time into his videos that I do. And I can understand, giving it up, being like, I just can't do this anymore, too time consuming, I have other things to do, I gotta put the videos aside. I can understand that, but I really wish when people would do that they would let us know. They would maybe post a video saying, hey guys, I'm hanging it up, not doing videos anymore. I'm sorry, thanks for watching, see ya. I would really enjoy that. But a lot of people on YouTube don't seem to do that. There have been a lot of people that I've been following for the past few years now that have just up and disappeared, and I have no idea why. It's definitely a shame. And I promise I will never do that to you guys. If for any reason I decide to hang it up and not do videos anymore, which I have no plans of doing that now, but if for any reason I do, I'm going to let you guys know. I'm going to put a video up, again, saying bye. I'll leave it up for probably a few months. I will not just disappear. I won't do that to you guys. Not sure why some people would do that. I really wish anybody who gives up making videos, who has a decent amount of subscribers, would at least just say goodbye. It would be nice. So I have no idea what happened to Silent Mike. I hope he's okay. I hope nothing bad happened to him. Hope he's living a good life. I'm not sure, though. The second question is, I did not get a chance to ask you a question last year, so I hope you answered this. How do you feel about these movie sequels coming out in 2013? The Hangover Part 3, Fast and the Furious 6, a sequel to The Muppets from 2011, and The Hunger Games Catching Fire. Hunger Games, I look forward to the sequels to that. I never really got all that into Hunger Games. I thought the Hunger Games movie was good. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was like the most amazing movie ever. Everybody was talking that movie like it was so great, one of the best movies of 2012. It was fantastic. It was brilliant. It was just so perfect. And I thought, yeah, it was okay. I certainly enjoyed the movie, but I've seen better. So I look forward to the sequels because I did like the movie. I thought the movie was great. I'm just not, all anticipating them and all excited. My wife is. My wife cannot wait for the next movies come out, because she was just such a big fan. And again, I don't know. I don't really get it. I thought the movies were just kind of okay, but I know a lot of people are looking forward to them, and I guess rightfully so, because people were a big fan of the movies, and I'm sure the sequels would be great. I'm sure I'm gonna like them. I have no doubt that I'm gonna like the follow-up movies. I think they're gonna be good. But again, I just wasn't a huge fan of the movie. I don't know. The Hunger Games, it's an okay film, and I'm sure the sequels will be just as good. The Hangover Part 3, I like The Hangover. Thought it was very funny. The Hangover 2, it's one of those movies where I cracked up laughing the entire time watching it. I really enjoyed the film, but at the same time, I kind of thought this is completely unnecessary, because it was just the same movie again. Didn't really feel like a movie I needed to see, even though, again, it was really funny. So I'd be willing to bet the third movie is going to be hilarious. I'm going to probably crack up laughing watching it, but it'll probably just be the same as the first two movies, and I'll just feel the same way, where I'm going, why did this movie really need to be made? But I'm sure it'll be funny, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Fast and the Furious 6. saying that out loud just sounds ridiculous. There's that many Fast and the Furious movies. But then I think about it, I go, well, they were all kind of good. I can't really badmouth any of the Fast and the Furious movies. They're all pretty good, actually. They've been doing a really good job with them. So, hey, if they want to do a 6th movie and they do a good job with it, bring it on, I guess. I'm not going to complain if they're going to do a good job making a movie. And thus far, they've actually done a pretty good job with the Fast and Furious movies. So, do I look forward to it? I don't know. Again, Fast and Furious movies are good. I enjoy them. I'm not some diehard fan. I just think they're great movies. I do have them all in my collection. They're a fun watch. I do enjoy them. They're good popcorn movies. But, you know, I'm not, like, really looking forward to it. But if they do a good job, then bring it on. I can't wait to see it. And sequel to The Muppets from 2011. I really hope Disney does a good job with this. The Muppets was one of the best movies I've seen this year. Definitely my top 5 all-time best movies of this year. Well, actually, I guess that was... Wait, it actually says from Muppets from 2011, so that was last year, wasn't it? I think that movie maybe came out right around the New Year's. I think I actually saw it in 2012. I believe that's when I saw it. I'm pretty sure I saw it in the theaters maybe in January 2012. But regardless, one of the best movies I've seen more recently. I loved that film. I thought it was amazing. And it has officially become my all-time favorite Muppet movie. And I grew up with the Muppets. I grew up in the 80s and early 90s. Muppets were my thing. I watched them all the time. They were always playing on TV. Me and all my friends, we had all the movies on VHS. So whether we were at my house or their house or anybody's house, we were having like a sleepover or something like that, we'd always be watching the Muppets. I was just a huge fan, and so were all my friends. The Muppets are something we definitely grew up with. And I'm a huge fan of the classic Muppet movies. And as great as they are, after I saw the Muppets, it just blew all the other ones out of the water. It was just so great, so funny, so perfectly done. I was just a huge fan of that film. So Disney has put themselves up on a pedestal here with this. They it's going to be hard to top themselves, I think. And I think that they could top themselves, or they could at least make a movie as good, but they're really going to have to put a lot of effort into it, and apparently Jason Segel isn't on board with this one, which gets me a little weary too, because I think Jason Segel's what really helped the movie out a lot in the first one, simply because he was such a diehard Muppet fan. If you've seen interviews even before he did the Muppet movies, or even was even involved in the Muppet movie, he talks about Muppets a lot. He just seems to be a diehard Muppet fan. And that's the kind of person you want in your film. I don't know why more movie studios don't do this. Movie studios will put out, you know, a superhero movie and everybody like, oh, that was such crap. I guarantee if they just hired somebody who, you know, some nerdy kid off the street who was obsessed with a Green Lantern or something like that, it would have been a brilliant movie. People wouldn't be bashing Green Lantern. People would have been like, this movie was fantastic, because they would have had some nerdy kid who knows all the ins and outs and knows how this movie should be done, and it would have been great. And so they hire some schmuck off the street who, you know, maybe makes these great movies that gross $1 bajillion, but doesn't know the first thing about a superhero movie, and then makes some crap film that, you know, probably makes a lot of money, I'm sure, but in the end, people just go, that sucked, and I just don't get it. So, you know, Muppets is a great, it really just shows you that if you use somebody who, you hire somebody who loves what they're doing and loves what they're working with, then they can make a great movie. And again, Jason Segel was a huge Muppet fan, and he made a fantastic film. I guess he actually was a co-writer. There was 2 writers for that movie, and apparently the other writer is on board for doing the movie. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good, because like I said, I love the first one so damn much. Brilliant movie. I'm also curious to see what they do with it. Is it going to be a direct sequel, or is it going to kind of be like the other Muppet movies where it's just a completely different thing, a whole new movie that really had nothing to do with the other movie? I don't know. If they do make it an actual sequel continuation, that could be interesting, I guess. I don't know. I look forward to it. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the new Muppet movie, and I hope it's as good as the first one. Now to the second question, like 20 minutes later. Jeez, I'm going to screw up so many YouTube names here. This is from Borjana Boo. I don't know. BJORNABO. I'm sorry. I know I pronounced that wrong. Since your collection is now pretty big, how many of the movies you own have you actually seen? I would say anything over 50% would be good. That's a good question, actually. I would say I've probably seen around 50% of my movies, if not a little more. I have this bad habit of buying faster than I watch, which a lot of people really question me about. Why would I want to do that? It doesn't make any sense. And I agree, it is pretty stupid, but I have such a hard time passing up a good deal. I see a movie and I go, this looks really interesting, and oh, it's at, let's say I get it from Goodwill, and it's $1.97. I go, wow, this movie looks really interesting, it's $1.97. I have to get it. And the reason why is because I know in like a year or two from now, I'm going to be like, man, I remember like 2 years ago, I came across that movie that I really wanted to see now. Maybe I saw a really good review on it online, or I've heard people talking about how great this movie is, and now I really, really want to see it, but I passed it up a year or two ago. And now I can only find it online for $20, but I came across it for $1.97 and I passed up on it. And that's what I have a hard time doing. I have a hard time passing up on good deals. If I find a movie that interests me for cheap, I just have to buy it because I know I'm going to want to see it someday. So, yeah, it's a bad habit of mine. There's an easy way to combat it, and that is to not go out so much. I'm always going out looking for movies. Any spare time I have, I'm going to go to Goodwill, or I'm going to go to the thrift store down the street, or I'm driving past Big Lots or something like that. I got to stop by. I'm always stopping. If I just wouldn't stop so much, I probably wouldn't buy as many things. But I have a hard time not stopping. If I go past a store that sells movies, I just got to stop and check it out. It's a horrible habit of mine. My wife is actually talking about us having a child. Or like trying to have a child this year. That is the plan. Or this coming year, I should say, 2013. Apparently, we're going to try to have a kid. So I guess that's going to be on the way. So we'll see what my spending habits are like once a kid comes along, because I know, things are going to get a bit more tight. But we'll see. I'm not sure how much money I'm going to have. A lot of it also depends on the condo I used to live in. We still own that. We haven't sold that yet. This house is paid off. This is the house we moved into, my father's house, we got from when he passed away, completely free, no mortgage, nothing on this house, but we're still paying the mortgage on the condo. So once that mortgage is out of the way, who knows, maybe things won't be so tight when we have a kid. Maybe when we have a kid, I'll still have money to spend. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, my spending habits might have to change quite drastically once we have a child. I might just need to not spend so much money, and then maybe I can finally catch up on the other 50% of my movies I haven't seen yet. But I do try to watch, my goal is to watch one new movie a night, but of course I rewatch stuff all the time. So every week I do watch a decent amount of new movies. It's just, I buy 20 new movies a week and I watch 5 new movies. It's, obviously a problem there. But we'll see. I'm working on it. I would definitely like to get everything in my collection seen. In fact, I think one of my goals for this year maybe will be to go through all my Blu-rays. When I first started collecting Blu-rays, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to watch every one of these. I'm not going to let a nice big pile of unwatched Blu-rays, pile up, and they have been. So maybe my goal for 2013, my New Year's resolution will be to actually go through all my Blu-rays and actually get them all watched. So they're out of the way, and maybe I'll move on to my VHS and Laserdisc and so on and so forth. DVDs will take a good long while to get through all those, but it'd be nice to at least get some other formats out of the way. So yeah, again, a little over 50% is probably what I've seen. Kind of ashamed to say that, but that's just how it goes. The next question comes from Jason Lundgren. Are you going to watch Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared and review those shows in the near future? I've actually never seen a single episode of Freaks and Geeks, and I am kind of ashamed to say that because I hear it's a brilliant show, and I'm sure it is. I've really wanted to see Freaks and Geeks. I come across the season set every so often in stores, but it always sells for way too much. If I ever come across it for cheap, I will most certainly pick it up and add it to my collection, but for now, I just haven't come across it for a good price. And as far as watching it on TV, I don't know if it's available on demand. I have Comcast. I don't know if it's available on demand or not, but even if it is, I don't really watch much TV. I like to wait till I buy things on DVD or Blu-ray before I watch them, because I hate when my wife would be like, "Oh, let's watch the whole entire third season of this show's on demand. Let's watch it." We'll sit and watch the whole thing, and then a couple months later I'll find the DVD and I'm like, "Well, I really want to have this movie on DVD, but I have no interest in watching this now because I just saw everything." So the DVD, just becomes something in my collection, something who knows I'll ever watch again. So I just don't watch much of anything on TV. I usually wait till I buy it. So, again, haven't seen a single episode of Freaks and Geeks, but hopefully in the near future, I will get some Freaks and Geeks on DVD and I'll actually watch it. As far as Undeclared, though, that I do own on DVD. That is a brilliant show. I remember when that first came out. I can't think of her name. The main female character in that movie, I honestly don't remember her name. I remember just madly falling in love with her. She was my first ever TV crush. Before then, I always thought it was really stupid for guys to get crushes on girls on TV. I'm like, she's an actress. You're never going to get with her. Why are you attracted to her? But fell madly in love with that girl and fell in love with the show, too. The show is just brilliant. So I'm a big fan of that show. Have it on DVD. Haven't watched in a few years. So maybe I'll actually get around to rewatching it and doing a review on it. But it's a great show. And if you haven't seen Undeclared, I recommend checking it out. King Lang 90 writes, can you tell us about your tattoos? I don't really know what you want to know about them. I have 2 full sleeves. They come up onto a chest piece. I have a whole chest piece. My whole entire chest is done. That comes up on my shoulders and on my back. Not my whole back, but like my back shoulder blades. My right leg, that I have up to my knee done. And my left leg, I have 1 tattoo on there. They're all kind of done in a kind of like a traditional meets like an old school traditional sort of meets new school kind of look, because they're not completely 100% like old school Sailor Jerry, but they're not totally new school either. They're kind of this weird sort of mix mash. They were actually all but 2 of my tattoos I have of me were done by Megan Massacre. You may know her from New York Inc. She's a little goth girl with tattoos on there. She actually started tattooing at the next town over from me. That's where she started tattooing. And I actually started getting tattooed by her within the first couple weeks of her ever tattooing. I remember she did this tattoo of my arm, and not a big tattoo at all. Tattoo that would probably take her a half hour now to do. Took her 3 hours the first time, and then I had to come in the next day to get some more color done. You know, it's funny how things have changed. How she's gone from just being so slow and trying to get every line perfect and everything because she's so nervous now that she could just blow right through a tattoo and it would look amazing. She doesn't even have to put any effort into it. She's just that good. So yeah, I started to get tattooed by Megan Massacre. We became good friends. We hung out. I followed her all over when she moved around to different shops. She was at my wedding. She was one of the guests at my wedding. I mean, Megan and I, we go way back about maybe coming up 10 years now or something like that. Haven't seen her since she moved to New York though. Definitely a shame. I miss her. When she comes back, I'll have to get in touch with her, hang out, maybe get some more tattoos by her. I have another 2 tattoos. One, it's on my my left leg. Like I said, that as you guys may know, I also do photography. I traded a girl some pictures for a tattoo. I thought that sounded like a great deal. The tattoo didn't turn out so well. I gotta get that covered up. Well, not covered up, but redone sometime. I'm hoping maybe Megan can go over and she just needs to touch it up and redo it. It would look nice. And then I got on my wrist here, I got my wife's initials, my initials, and our anniversary. Just got that recently done, as you guys may know. That I got from this place up the street from me. He did a good job. I might have to go back there and get some more now that Megan's up in New York. So yeah, my tattoos, nothing really special, just kind of stuff I put together. My left arm here, that was kind of just picking stuff off a wall necessarily. I was kind of just looking through flash on a wall and saying, yeah, I want that, I want that, I want that. My right arm, though, that was a bit more thought out. Megan and I really put some time into that one, and by the time we moved on to this arm, Megan kind of, we knew each other pretty well. We've been hanging out for a few years now, so she really knew me, and she kind of knew what I liked. So I would say I want, I want a pyre or something like that. And she would draw something up and go, okay, well, I know what you like. Let me put my spin on it. And it was kind of a mix between her and I on what went on this arm, and we placed everything really well and much more thought out. So that's it for my tattoos. I have a lot. Will I get more? Probably. I have some stuff I want to get done on my left leg. Really want to get a memorial tattoo for my grandfather. Want to get a memorial tattoo for my father who just passed away this year. And I have some other things I want to put on there as well. So that's my tattoos. Then, this is interesting. Goat Orgy asks, another tattoo question. Do you have any cinema-related tattoos? Would you ever consider building like a secret vault? Oh, I guess he has a couple questions here. Okay, first one. Do you have any cinema-related tattoos? Nope, I don't. Why? I have no idea. That is a really good question as to why I don't have any cinema-related tattoos. I've always wanted some. Thought about getting the Universal Monsters on my leg, but I don't really know. I just don't know why I don't have any cinema-related tattoos. I really probably should. I just haven't gotten any. Every time I come up with an idea, it's always something that's really not cinema-related. But, I'm going to have to get something. Even if it's just something little or just one tattoo, I need to get one. So eventually, somewhere down the line, I will get at least one cinema-related tattoo on me just to, represent cinema and my love for it. Would you ever consider building like a secret vault to your movies, like behind a bookcase type thing? Maybe that'd be kind of interesting. I've seen something like that online. There's this one guy who has this really sweet movie room I saw on, I guess it was on Blu-ray.com, and this might be what he's referring to. It's actually behind a bookcase. It's really, really neat. It looks just like a bookcase in a wall, but it swings open, and you can go down this hall into like a theater. It's really, really neat looking. Would I do that? I don't know. Maybe that'd be kind of cool actually. But right now, just from outside in the hall, it looks like a bedroom. I guess that's kind of hidden, right? And what are your favorite movies of the year? Wow, that's a good question. What did I see? I used to keep track of all the movies I saw throughout a year, and it was so much easier to go through a list and say, oh, I like that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. But now I'm kind of like, wait, did I see that this year? Did I see it last year? Like the Muppets, for instance. Did I see that this year? Did I see it last year? I'm pretty sure I saw the Muppets this year, and if I did, that's one of my favorites. I think I saw Rise of the Planet of the Apes this year. That was really, really good. Let Me In was excellent. I saw that for the first time this year. Well, it says, what are your favorite movies of the year? I'm just going to say my favorite movies that I first saw this year that I enjoyed. So Let Me In was great. Oh, The Innkeepers. Oh my God, that movie was so brilliant. If I had to make a list of the top, 5 movies, my top 5 favorite movies I watched this year, Innkeepers would probably be number 1, or somewhere really close to number 1. The Innkeepers was absolutely fantastic. One of the greatest movies I've seen ever. I'm a huge fan of that. That's one of those movies I'm going to be watching just constantly over and over again. Actually, just like the Muppets. Muppets I actually watched when I bought it on DVD. I watched it that night. The very next night I watched it with commentary. I did the same thing with Innkeepers. I watched it, loved it so much, watched it the very next night with commentary again. And if I'm watching a movie twice in a row like that, I'm really digging it. So Innkeepers was fantastic. If you haven't seen The Innkeepers, see it. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, probably the best movie I've seen this year. The next question comes from I Made Joke. If you were stranded out in the wild and all you had was 2 movies, what movies would they be? And my second question is, do you play an instrument? The first question is really difficult to answer. I would probably choose Young Frankenstein because that's my all-time favorite movie. But the second movie, I don't know. What do I choose? Do I choose a comedy or a musical, a horror? What would I pick? Do I want to pick The Innkeepers because I really enjoyed that? Do I want to pick Spice World because it's my favorite guilty pleasure movie? Do I want to pick Muppets because I really like that one too? It's really, really difficult. I have no idea. I'm not sure if I can answer that question. Wow. I don't know. I do not know what I would choose for my second movie, but I can guarantee you Young Frankenstein would have to be on that list. Probably on Laserdisc too. I just for kicks, I'd want my Laserdisc player to watch Young Frankenstein on. And they also asked, do you play an instrument? Not really. I play guitar. I used to be in a punk band in high school. I guess my freshman and sophomore year of high school, I was in a punk band. I was a lead singer and lead guitarist of a punk band. And to be in a punk band, you don't really need to know how to play guitar. I've never taken a lesson in my life. Just a lot of really simple power chords. It's amazing how many, it's amazing how just using 2 actual chords on your guitar can string a lot of songs together. So do I play an instrument? I don't know how to play guitar, but I play guitar, if that makes any sense. So I kind of know how to play an instrument. Next question comes from Matt11708. Have you seen the movie Chopped, and if so, what did you think of it? And also, have you seen the Danny Trejo movie Badass? I have not seen either of those movies. Chopped I know of, that I want to see. Badass, I'm not sure I even heard of that movie. I don't really know. But no, I haven't seen either of those, so I can't really give my thoughts on it, but I will definitely look into them. Movie Collector 16 writes, can you give me a shout out for my Instagram account, Movie Collector 16, and thanks for following me on Instagram. Well, I guess there you go. Vaughn Springer writes, as the mask would say, your wife is smoking. How did you two meet? Well, thank you. We actually met on MySpace, which is kind of ridiculous, but we actually did go to the same high school, though we didn't know each other existed. She was a freshman when I was a senior. We had no idea each other existed during high school. Who knows if I ever even ran into her. Our high school was huge, by the way, so that's how we didn't even know each other. But I guess it was about 7 years ago, I guess when we first met, I was on MySpace adding some friends, just basically going through my, through a list of people who were in my class and just adding friends. And then I went through, the junior class when I was a senior, and because I was friends with some of them. And I had some sophomore friends and some freshman friends too, because I was in a bunch of art classes. We were all kind of intermixed, and I was friends with a bunch of kids from different grades. So I was going through them all, adding some friends, people I knew, and I came across a picture of my wife, and I thought, that girl looks really cute. So I figured, what the hell, I'll just add her too, and out of the blue, she started talking to me. So we started talking, and then one day I really wanted to go to Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania, a great amusement park. If you haven't been there, check it out. Really wanted to go. I didn't have anybody to go with. I basically just posted that, hey, I'm really looking forward to going to Hershey. I know who to go with. Does anybody want to go with me? And she said, yeah, I'll go. And it pretty much came from that. She went with me to Hershey Park. We hit it off. It was a great day. And we started dating. And then next thing you know, a bunch of years down the line, we get married. Now we've been married for 2 years. So, yeah, I met my wife on MySpace. Glenn7000 writes 2 questions. 1, should there be a Happy Gilmore sequel if there's a good script? Well, sure, if there's a good script, there should be a sequel to... I don't care if they do a sequel to... I know they did a Titanic 2, but a real Titanic 2, sorry, Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio. If they have a really good script for a second movie and it's just brilliant, sure, make it. I mean, that's the way I see anything. I don't care what you make a sequel to, as long as it's good. I don't care what kind of movie you make, as long as it's good. So, yeah, if the script is good for Happy Gilmore 2, go ahead and make it. And the second question is, have you ever seen Used Cars with Kurt Russell? I have not seen it, but I do own it. I have it on DVD and Laserdisc and maybe CED as well. So yeah, I have it at least on 2 formats, maybe 3, and I have not got around to watching it yet. I do want to see it though. I've heard great things, and it's definitely something I'll check out eventually this year and review, especially since I got asked a question. So I'll check it out soon, but I really want to see it, and I do own it. Doors8077 writes, another 2 questions. What do you think of the Wii U? It's cool, I guess. See, I'm not really a gamer. I enjoy video games. I grew up with video games. Occasionally I play video games. I do have a Wii system. Every now and then I break it out and play some games. I'm a big fan of the, I would say probably the 16-bit era is my favorite. Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. The 64-bit as well, and the 8-bit as well too. I grew up, I actually grew up with an Atari, I guess like 2600 or something like that. I grew up with an Atari. That was my first ever video game system, which, God, that thing was awful. That's what I grew up with. Playing, well, okay, Pitfall wasn't bad. I love Pitfall. But I remember playing Pitfall on that thing all the time. God, what a Haunted House. That was such a bad game. Superman, another horrible one. Yeah, some bad games on the Atari. Then I eventually did get a Nintendo, an NES, and loved that. Used to play it all the time. Mega Man, Super Mario Brothers, all of them. Just all the classics. Just a big fan of the Nintendo. And then when Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis came out, we actually didn't have them for a long time. We just had a Nintendo, and eventually down the line, I did get myself a Sega Genesis. Loved playing that. I didn't get a Super Nintendo till I actually became got out of college and whatnot. Then I actually bought a Super Nintendo. Up until then, I had only played Super Nintendo games through some emulators and also at friends' houses. But I didn't own one. Also bought myself an N64 at the same time, which again I had played emulators and at friends' houses. But I really liked them. I've had a lot of different systems. I've had PlayStations. I've had Nintendo DS's, all kinds of different game systems throughout my life. But the problem is I buy them thinking, oh, I'm going to play all these great games. I'm still looking forward to it. And for about like a week or two, I'll be really into playing games. I'll do nothing, play games straight, and then I'll always find my way back to movies. I'll start neglecting my game systems and doing nothing but watching movies. So I've learned my lesson now, and that is I don't buy game systems anymore because I know I'm not going to play them. The last game I beat was Super Mario Galaxy. That's the last time I've beat a game, with the exception of some things I have on my iPhone. I have some games on there that I play. But the last console game I ever beat was actually Super Mario Galaxy. Really fun game. Really kind of wanted to play the second one, but just don't have time to. The only reason I even have a Wii is because my wife wanted it. We kind of went in together and bought ourselves a Wii. So yeah, every now and then we might bust out Guitar Hero, or I have some games I downloaded from the Virtual Console that I'll play on it. So the Wii's cool, but the Wii U, yeah, it looks interesting with the gamepad and stuff. I think it's pretty cool looking. But as of right now, I have no interest in buying one. Probably never will buy one. The wife's happy with the Wii. She says she has no interest in getting a Wii U, so I don't see ever getting one. But it does look pretty cool, and if you're interested in getting one, I'm sure you'll have a blast with it. The second question is: Are you a fan of blaxploitation films? I haven't seen a ton of them. Blackula's fantastic. Watched that one recently. That was great. Oh, Scream Blackie the Scream was just god awful. So bad sequel to a really good movie. Other blaxploitation movies, I've only seen a couple. They're okay. I see blaxploitation films just like any other genre movie. There's good blaxploitation films, and there's bad blaxploitation films. There's good comedies, there's bad comedies, there's good dramas, there's bad dramas, so on and so forth. Good movie's a good movie, a bad movie's a bad movie. I look at the same thing with blaxploitation. So yeah, I am a fan of blaxploitation films, just the good ones.